This will be the only video tutorial you will need to make your very own crochet bikini. If you're a beginner or just looking to learn how to make a basic crochet bikini top and bottom, then you've come to the right place. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet if you'd like to get all the latest tutorials and crochet patterns. For this tutorial, we will need bikini yarns. And if you're wondering, no, they do not sag or stretch, I promise. I'm using Cascade Fixation yarns, which you can get on Amazon or on Etsy. I'll place a link down below. You'll also need a 2.5mm crochet hook, a measuring tape, an elastic band for the bikini bottom, and a pair of scissors. Now, to start off, I'll show you how to make the base of a bikini cup. We'll first start with a slip knot and work a total of 15 chains. This will be for all sizes. Now, from the second chain from your hook, we'll work a half double crochet. So you'll yarn over, you insert your hook through that second chain, you'll draw up a loop, you'll yarn over and pull through all loops. That will be your first half double crochet stitch. Now you'll just work half double crochet stitch on each chain. You should have a total of 14 half double crochet stitches once you're at the end. And on that last stitch, you'll chain 1. So this will be your first row. Next, we'll turn our work. On the next row, you'll continue working the half double crochet stitch, starting with the first stitch and all the way across. You should have 14 stitches once you're at the end. This is my last stitch. So you have 14 stitches in total. Now we'll be working on the row side. You'll insert your hook behind that last post that you see, and we'll work 5 half double crochet stitches around that last post. So this will make our work turn to the opposite side of the row. Once you've completed 5 half double crochet stitches, you'll go and find that last chain that you worked on before, and you'll work your half double crochet. So this will be your first stitch for the next row. So you'll continue to work your half double crochet stitch on each chain all the way across. And once you're done, you should have made 14 stitches on the other side. Now for the next row, make sure you've chained 1 and turn your work. We'll repeat what we did on the previous row by working half double crochet stitches on each stitch. And once you've reached that group stitch, you'll work your half double crochet until that second group stitch. And on the third stitch, you'll continue to work your 5 half double crochet group stitch on that third stitch, which is basically the center point of that fan stitch. And then you'll proceed to work your half double crochet stitches on each stitch all the way across. There should be 16 stitches left. So from here, we'll just repeat the last row by working half double crochet stitches and increasing once we've reached the fan stitch, and then half double crochet stitches down. We will repeat the last pattern for a total of 4 V-shaped rows, and this is applicable to all sizes. Once you've completed all 4 rows, the center row is not counted. We'll continue to work our half double crochet stitch all the way until the tip, but instead of working that 5 half double crochet group stitches, we'll now want to make the cup wider. So instead of working 5, we'll work 3 half double crochet stitches instead. And then from here, we'll work half double crochet stitches into each stitch all the way across. I am working on an A cup, so I'll be working 1 more row before changing colors. But for all the other sizes, you can get the full written pattern in the link below. So here I've just completed 5 V-shaped rows, and now I'll be working on switching colors. On your second last stitch, you'll work your half double crochet stitch as usual. So before closing the last stitch, you'll drop your pink yarn and pick up your new yarn color or your accent color and pull through to close that stitch. You'll chain 1 and turn your work and continue working your half double crochet stitch as usual. You can also watch this video tutorial here on how to easily change yarn colors without leaving any ends. Once you've reached the second stitch in the 3 half double crochet group stitch, you'll work another 3 half double crochet stitch into that second stitch, and then you'll continue to work 1 half double crochet all the way across. Once you've reached that last stitch, we won't close that last stitch, but instead we'll pick up our pink yarn and pull through all loops to close up that last stitch. Now you'll chain 1 and turn your work. We won't be using the white yarn anymore, so you can go ahead and snip it off. For the next row, we'll just repeat the pattern we did on the previous row by working an increase of 3 half double crochet stitches at the top and work our way down, and we'll do this for 2 rows. For the next row, on that last stitch, we won't close up that stitch just yet. We'll pick up the white yarn and pull through to close that last stitch. You'll chain 1 and we'll repeat the last 2 rows for 1 more set. And don't forget to snip off the pink yarn. Once you've completed all the rows needed for your size, we'll be making the top tie on the last row. So here I've worked my way all the way up to the second stitch in the 3 half double crochet group stitch. And I'll hold the top of the cup and pull 2 arms length worth of yarn like this image here. And then I'll fold another layer down to the top of the cup like so. You should have about 60 inches or 150 centimeters of yarn in length. Now with your hook still in the last stitch, you'll insert your hook into the next stitch and drop a loop with the double yarn. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Now you'll yarn over and pull through all loops. Now we'll work up chains with the double yarn and we'll continue to chain all the way up till the end. On the last stitch, we'll just pull up the loop to close. And this is how our top tie should look like. Now to finish off the last remaining set of the cups, you'll insert your hook through that last stitch on the tie. And you'll drop a loop. And from here, you'll just work 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. And once you've completed your last stitch, go ahead and bind off and make a second cup. Once you've completed making your second cup, go ahead and weave in all loose ends. Now we have 1 more step to go. We will need to make the back ties. And just like what we did with the top ties, we'll need to pull 2 arms length worth of yarn, but we'll do this 4 times. So you'll pull 2 arms length 4 times, and then you'll hold on to the top of the yarn, and you'll fold over to get a double strand. This should give you about 240 inches or about 600 centimeters in length. Now we'll take the bottom open end of the yarn and we'll work a slip knot. We can even use a bigger hook if you like. And then we'll just work double chains. You'll continue working the chains all the way until the end. Once you've completed the tie, you'll take your cup and weave in your hook across the bottom row. You'll insert your hook through the first row, in and out the next rows. You'll do this all the way until you've reached the other end of the cup. And then you'll take the loop end of the tie and you'll pull it through the cup. And if it's a little bit too tight to pull, that's completely normal. We'll just keep pulling until it goes through. Now once you have one cup weaved in, you'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So you'll remove the tie from your hook and you'll insert your hook at the bottom row of the cup and pull the tie through. And there you go, you've just completed a very simple, very straightforward triangle bikini top. And to tidy it up a little bit, you can work single or double knots at the end of each tie, pull it tightly, and snip off any excess yarn. You can even put decorative beads before tying a knot too if you like. Great job if you've completed your bikini top. Now let's go ahead and make our bikini bottom. If you've enjoyed this tutorial so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to continue to work on this at another time, just click the save button for later. Now to start our bikini bottom, let's work up some chains. You'll first start with a slip knot and chain 53. This will be for size medium. For the next row, you'll insert your hook into that second chain from your hook and work a half double crochet. You'll continue working the half double crochet stitch into each chain. Once you've completed all your stitches, you'll chain one. Now for the next row, we'll be working decreases. You'll turn your work, and from here we'll work 2 half double crochet stitches together. This will be your first half double crochet decrease, and we'll work another decrease. You'll half double crochet the next 2 stitches together. On your 5th stitch, you'll work 1 half double crochet stitch all the way across, and we'll stop on the 5th last stitch. Once you've reached that 5th last stitch, you'll work another set of decrease stitches by working the half double crochet 2 together for a total of 2 sets. You'll chain 1, turn your work, and repeat the last row for another 2 more rows. So you insert your hook into that first stitch and second stitch and work that half double crochet 2 together for 2 sets. On the next stitch, you'll work 1 half double crochet stitch all the way across until the 5th last stitch. Once you're at your 4th row, we'll be switching colors on the next row. So let's work our half double crochet 2 together decrease stitches. Now before closing up this last decrease set, we'll drop our pink yarn and pick up our accent color. So here I have my white yarn, and I'll pull the white yarn through all loops to close up the stitch. And then you'll chain 1 to secure that stitch and turn your work. You can go ahead and snip off that pink yarn. Now on your next row, we'll be working only 1 half double crochet decrease on each side. So go ahead and work that half double crochet 2 together on that first and second stitch. And on the next stitch, you'll just work 1 half double crochet stitch and do this all the way across until the third last stitch. Once you've reached the third last stitch, you'll work another set of decrease half double crochet 2 together stitches on the last remaining 2 stitches. You'll chain 1 and turn your work. Now from here on, we'll just continue working the half double crochet 2 together decrease on each side and do this for a total of 11 rows. You should have 12 stitches remaining. Once you've completed all your rows, we'll be working on the crotch length. So go ahead and stop decreasing and just work 1 half double crochet stitches on each stitch all the way across and do this for a total of 26 rows. Just note that the longer the crotch is, the more cheekier cut the back will be. So you can adjust the length to your liking. Once you've completed the length of the crotch side, take a measuring tape and place a stitch marker 7 inches or 180 centimeters from the top, and this will be our folding point. And as I mentioned earlier, the longer the crotch, the narrower the back will become, just like this image here. Now for our next row, we'll be working on increases. So you'll chain 1, turn your work, and work 2 half double crochet stitches into that first stitch. Next, we'll work 1 half double crochet stitch all the way across, and on that last stitch, we'll work 2 half double crochet stitches to increase. Chain 1 and turn your work, and we'll just repeat the last increase rows for a total of 13 rows. Once you've completed all your rows, you would fold the bikini bottom in half at the stitch marker, and it should reach just before the color change on the front side. Now for the next row, we'll be switching to our pink yarn color. You insert your hook and work till your last stitch. You'll pick up the pink yarn and pull through to close. You'll chain 1 and you can go ahead and snip off that white yarn. You'll turn your work, and on the next rows, you'll repeat the last row of increasing the first stitch with 2 half double crochet stitches. And don't forget to work around the tail. And you'll work 1 half double crochet stitch all the way across. And work 2 half double crochet stitches on that last stitch. You'll chain 1, turn your work, and repeat the last row for another 3 more rows. Once you've completed all your rows, this is how your finished bikini bottom base should look like. As you can see, it's much narrower at the back, which you can adjust very easily. And when you fold it in half, the length should match front and back. Now let's work on the sides. So from your last stitch, you'll chain 1 and turn to the row side. Go ahead and work 1 half double crochet stitch into each row side. Do this all the way across until you've reached the 4th last row before the stitch marker. Make sure not to stitch too tight. On the third last stitch, you'll work 1 single crochet stitch followed by 2 slip stitches. Next, we'll chain 1, we'll turn our work. Now we'll work 2 slip stitches followed by 2 single crochet stitches, and on our next stitch we'll work the half double crochet stitch all the way across. On that last stitch we'll work 1 half double crochet, we'll chain 1 and turn our work. Now for the next row, we'll work another set of half double crochet stitches all the way across, and I'll meet you back here on the third last stitch. Once we've reached that third last stitch, we'll go ahead and work 1 single crochet followed by 2 slip stitches. Go ahead and bind off, and we'll repeat the same steps on the other side. This is how the back should look like, and once you fold it in half, it should look something like this. Now let's remove the stitch marker and insert our hook where the stitch marker was. We'll take our pink yarn and drop a loop. Now go ahead and grab your elastic band. Here I have an elastic band in white. You can choose whatever color you like. Here is the elastic rubber band that I'm using, which is easily available online, and I'll place a link below. Now we'll need to make sure that we're working on the right side before adding the bands. So now you'll place the rubber band between your loop and your working yarn. Make sure it's placed in the middle. Now you'll chain 1 to secure your rubber band in place. Now we'll be working 2 single crochet stitches into each row while working around the rubber band. And don't forget to also work around the excess yarn when working your stitches. So you'll continue to work 2 single crochet stitches on each row all the way across. Once you've reached that last stitch at the top, you want to make sure that your rubber band is nice and taut. So go ahead and pull the bottom rubber band and the top slightly, so it's not entirely bunched up, but it's also not too spread out. Now we'll be making the side ties. So we'll pull 2 arms length worth of yarn like how we did with the bikini top. This should be about 60 inches in length or 150 centimeters in length. Now into that same last stitch, we'll drop the double yarn and work 1 single crochet. And then from here, we'll just work chains all the way until the end. Just pull up the loop to close. As you can see, this will give us a nice and secure tie. Now to continue on the other side, you'll insert your hook through that last stitch that you worked on.
This should be directly under the tie. You'll pick up your working yarn and we'll work around any excess yarn that we have. We'll drop a loop, and into that next stitch we'll work a single crochet stitch while working around the rubber band, and we'll do this into each stitch all the way across. Now once you've reached your last stitch, we'll be working on the ties just like how we did on the other side. But before we work on the ties, we'll need to pull the rubber band gently just to ensure that it's not too loose. I'll hold the other end of the bikini and pull the rubber band slightly until I can feel it in my fingertips on the other side. And if it's too bunched up, I'll just spread the top row nice and even. Now let's work on the other tie. We'll pull 2 arms length worth of yarn like how we did earlier. We'll fold the top in half, like so. Insert a hook into that same previous stitch that we worked on. We'll draw up the double loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. And we'll work a single crochet. Now let's work up some chains. Here I've just worked up my chains. I'll insert my hook into that previous stitch that we worked on. I'll pick up my working yarn and draw up a loop. Make sure you're working around the rubber band. I'll continue to work 2 single crochet stitches into each row, and once I'm at the end, I'll go ahead and work on the ties and repeat the same steps in the round. And I'll meet you back here once all 4 ties are done. Once we've completed all 4 ties and we're almost done working in the round, we'll stop working about 10 stitches before closing. We'll hold on to each corner of the bikini bottom and pull the rubber band evenly across to make sure that they're nice and taut and not too bunched up. We'll take our scissors and we'll snip off about 3 to 4 inches or about 10 centimeters worth of rubber band, and we'll tie a double knot. Make sure to tighten it really good. You'll insert your hook back into the loop, and we'll finish off working our single crochet stitches while working around the rubber band and around the knot. And once you've reached that last stitch, go ahead and work a slip stitch into that first stitch and bind off. Now just go ahead and snip off the excess rubber band and weave in any loose ends. And there you have it. You've just completed your crochet bikini bottom. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and managed to complete your very own crochet bikini. Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more video tutorials like this, just follow me by subscribing to my channel. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.